Which living thing has no brain cells and can solve puzzles? This guy. Did you know that this yellow goo is capable of creating efficient mapping? It has an amazing memory, and it can cover entire nations. It can do all of this with no limbs and no brain. In fact, this is a single-celled organism that can reach sizes of up to several square meters and masses up to 20 kilograms. How is something that is called dog vomit or witch's butter so smart? What is its purpose? And what will happen if it decides that it finds us tasty? This real-life venom evolved at least 600 million years ago, perhaps as long as 1 billion years ago. But their survival principles are so good that its biological existence and patterns are applied in robotics, electronics, and programming. And yet it doesn't fit in any group. It's not an animal, or a plant, or even a fungi. What you see here is a slime mold, and they came from the evolutionary tree before animals split from plants and fungi. There are more than 900 types of slime mold found all over the world. You can encounter them in soil, lawns, and on the forest floor. The most distinct slime mold is Viscerum polycephalum, a single-celled organism that contains thousands or sometimes millions of nuclei in it. Simply put, imagine Elastigirl, but with 1,000 limbs, and she can change her size from microscopic to literally the length of your entire body. And if she feels like it, she can join with other Elastigirls and become even bigger. So how does slime mold function? How is it so smart? And why does it seem unstoppable? Since its discovery in 1833 by Johann Friedrich, the study of slime mold has excited many scientists. Even the Emperor of Japan, Emperor Hirohito, wrote a 296-page book on it titled Myxophysites of the Nasu District. Yeah, this thing literally got royal attention before Pippa Middleton's butt. And we can't even get a retweet back from Meghan Markle. For some reason, scientists and researchers are fascinated with slime molds. Just like Charles Xavier trained and studied the X-Men's powers, researcher Toshiyushi Nakagaki conducted a series of experiments on the slime mold and showed us astonishing results. Let's get into it. First was a pathfinding experiment. Here, slime mold's all-time favorite food is humble oatmeal, or just simple oats. They put the little guy at the beginning of a labyrinth and placed pieces of oats at the end of the maze. The little guy then transformed into a big guy and went on a quest, searching the area for food. Once the mold finally reached it, the slime retracted from all the other places. It then found the shortest route from the main body to the oatmeal. To retrace where you have been and then retract to home base requires excellent memory. But shockingly, Mr. Flubber here does all of this without a nervous system. This led the scientists thinking, how does it do that without relaying any information back to the body? The answer is deceptively simple. The slime basically releases a chemical in places that it thinks are dead ends, just like how Hansel and Gretel would leave breadcrumbs to retrace their steps back home. With these kind of navigational skills, the yellow jelly would have done a better job at finding Danny than Jack did in The Shining. If you think that's cool, wait till you hear about the second experiment. In this case, the slime mold was put in a territory scattered with oats, where it branched out in patterns and fractals looking for nutrients. After about 26 hours, it created a firm network connecting all the oats to the main body. Now what's fascinating is not how it created the network. We know by now that it can do that. But the fact that the territory was the map of Japan. The mold's body represented the city of Tokyo, and the oats represented the surrounding suburban railway stations. The slime mold had managed to replicate the exact transportation network of Tokyo. What took engineers, architects, and mankind years and years to figure out, the slime mold achieved in just one day. So, if someday this guy decides to get off its diet of oats and munch on us, you can be rest assured that it would create the shortest way possible to get us. And on top of that, it would just dump the places that became dead ends. The slime mold would rock its LinkedIn profile because its networking doesn't just end at recreating transport systems. They are also capable of teaching their friends the knowledge they have acquired. In an experiment conducted by Audrey Dusatour on the slime mold nicknamed Blob, it was put on one side of a bridge that led to food. The bridge was coated with salt, which isn't particularly harmful, but unpleasant for Blob, and as a result, slows it down. On the first day, Blob took around 10 hours to cross the salty bridge. The next day, it took 8 hours, and the day after that, Blob crossed the bridge even faster. My man Blob here had gotten used to the salt, and just became faster and faster at reaching its main goal: food! Ah, even Blob knows the simple pleasures of life. This made Dusatour wonder if Blob could teach other blobs the same thing. So, when she kept two separate blobs next to each other, they literally combined. Their membranes fused, they opened up their insides, and then created a single organism. And blob number 1 somehow transferred all of its learning to blob number 2. Told you they were X-Men, but not really. They are just slime molds with a bit of an identity crisis, because they're closer to amoebas than mold. Now imagine Blob and his friends have decided to take on the world because they are just done with mankind's supremacy. They have not only created a network, but have also learned to jump over our salt bridges. What do we do? Maybe we decide to go all Mad Max Fury Road on them and try to shred them to the ground. Divide and rule, am I right? Sorry, folks, that won't help either. Researchers in Germany already tried to break them down into thousands of tiny fragments, only to watch them slowly join back together. Compared to other single-celled organisms, slime mold barely has any membrane. It's just gooey stuff that happens to stick back together. Remember how Venom tried to stick back to Peter Parker? Yeah, that's just how stubborn these guys are. Lucky for us though, Blob right now is a health nut and sticks to the good old oatmeal and rotting wood. What's even better, it moves only a centimeter an hour, so the invasion might just be a tad bit slow. But this yellow gooey stuff is so fascinating that there's a whole community of scientists, artists, and just regular people who share their experiences and tests with the world. You can go to slimeoko.ning.com and meet people from the Slime Mold Collective. You can even keep Blob at home as a pet. Yes, people have done that. Just do not forget to feed him, because if this guy gets hangry, it will escape the cage and spread everywhere. It's true. A scientist once forgot to feed him, and Blob spread all over his roof. Do you think you would ever like to get Blob home? Or is Blob up to no good? What if Blob and Co. decide to go rogue and take over mankind? Do we stand a chance? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and we might just make a video about it. If you like this video, then show us some love by smashing the thumbs up button down below. See you next time.